Finally, it's here. The long-awaited Spider-Verse sequel. In the 2018 Sony blessed us with Into the Spider-Verse. An animation about Miles Morales, a high school New Yorker from Brooklyn to be exact, and how one day his life changes when he gets bitten by a radioactive spider. The movie was a commercial success and critical darling. It was applauded for its diversity, animation, world building, and character development. Forever changing and expanding the creativity of animation and animators alike. As you can tell, I love this movie, so you can only imagine how crazy I was when the sequel was announced. So let's find out if all the anticipation and waiting was worth the buzz. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse start off our young hero, Miles Morales, as he goes through the daily trials and tribulations of being Spider-Man. Unlike his predecessor, Peter Parker, he is a people's hero, not the default person hero. This sequel also managed to give New York its own character, with Spider-Man being our proxy. This decision sets the sequel apart from the first movie, that showed us the city through a more average New York perspective. This brings us to the central conflict of the movie, the sacrifice of being Spider-Man. What is it to be Spider-Man? What type of trials one had to go through to truly say they are the web slinger? The sacrifice of being Spider-Man. Saving lives might be noble, but it comes at a cost. Like his family and school, this forces him to keep his web abilities a secret. Let's come to the movie's villain, the Spot, who was an Easter egg character from the first movie, surprisingly. The Spot has a vendetta against our hero, due to Miles and his own friends destroying Kingpin's collider, which led to different multiverses. The Spot became a universe hopper to gain more power and ruin our protagonist Miles Morales' future, which catches the attention of the Spider Society and some of Miles' old friends, and now Miles is thrown back into the fray of action, a race against time. The characters. Funny enough, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse do not start off our main character Miles Morales, but actually Gwen Stacy, Spider-Gwen. The movie first takes place in her universe, and we get to see what it's like to be Spider-Gwen in her universe. We see some of her fights, we see some of the color palettes she goes through and everything. The main conflict in her universe is with her father. Her father is a police officer, and he hates vigilantes. Unfortunately, the Peter in her universe used to be the Lizard. And Spider-Gwen fought the Lizard and killed Peter Parker by accident. Her father saw the crime scene and saw Spider-Gwen killing Peter Parker. And ever since that day, Spider-Gwen's father wanted to arrest Spider-Gwen and send her to prison, not knowing that the person that he was trying to arrest was actually his daughter. This really plays off with Spider-Gwen and Miles' relationship, of both of them being two web slingers that had to keep their identity from their parents, and due to them keeping their identity hidden away from their parents, there's a lot of stress going on between the family and kid dynamic. Throughout the movie, we see Miles and Spider-Gwen getting closer and closer as friends and even a little bit more intimate. I really enjoyed how they showed their relationship blossom throughout the movie, slowly building them up into something more, and I wish Western media and more cartoons and animated content took this approach and learned a thing or two from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. That love takes time. The main thing that stands out about Miles in this movie is his maturity. In the sequel, he seemed more confident and sure of himself. Though he's not a people pleaser, he managed to be a people's hero by being charismatic, caring, and engaging with the community around him. Throughout this movie, he really is truly finding out that he doesn't need nobody's approval of being Spider-Man, and he can call his own shot of being a superhero. He has nothing to prove to anyone but himself. Peter B. Parker. In the sequel of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Peter B. Parker takes more of a backseat approach, which I think is a good thing because his arc concluded in the first movie of him reaccepting the responsibilities of Spider-Man. In the first movie, he was more of the second protagonist after Miles Morales. This helped us to see Miles mature more into Spider-Man and step out of Peter's shadow, which helped Miles as a character and us as viewers to develop a love for Miles and friends outside of nostalgia and studio loyalty. Spider-Punk or Spider-Socialist was my favorite character. With his snarky remarks and his anti-capitalist views, definitely a standout character. He never plays by the rules, typically his way or the highway. He's more of a chaos good type of character. With his British punk rock swag, speaking power to the people and taking down the man. Can't wait to see more of him in the sequel. Now I understand why Spider-Gwen took a liking to him. Spider-Man India is another Spider-Man that we met throughout the movie in his universe in the city called Mumbai, which is NYC that is influenced by Indian culture and architecture. He is the comedic relief of the movie with a youthful sense of being Spider-Man because he only been Spider-Man for 6 months. But even that may be the case, that doesn't stop him from doing what's right and seeing a better sense of the world around him. You either love him or hate him, but I choose to love him. Spider-Woman. Unfortunately, I can't say that I like her or hate her. Personally, I wish she had more screen time in the movie. I really liked that she was pregnant and she rode a really cool motorcycle, doing a lot of cool acrobatics. She was kind of like a mentor to Spider-Gwen, which was very interesting. But overall, I wanted to see her more in the sequel and see how she changes as a person. Spider-Man 2099, the main character who runs the Spider Society, who looks for all anomalies throughout the Spider-Verse and tries to end them. I really enjoyed his character as Spider-Man 2099. I really liked the conflict he had with Miles because apparently Miles wasn't supposed to be Spider-Man in his universe, but due to an anomaly that happened, he became Spider-Man. And due to that, Spider-Man 2099 looked down on our main character Miles, which leads Miles to have contention with Spider-Man 2099 and the rest of the Spider Society, making Miles break off from the rest of his friends and the Spider People to become his own Spider-Man. I can't wait to see what happens in the sequel as Miguel O'Hara trying to hunt down Spider-Man and the people who try to help him save his parents. The Spot is an interesting villain. He exists as both comedic relief and a slow burn as a villain. It's funny to see him yearn for Spider-Man's approval as an arch nemesis, and then turn more sinister as the movie progresses. In a weird way, you can't help to root for the man and see his dastardly plan come into power. I really enjoyed this sequel. I mean, this movie was over 2 hours long and still managed to keep me on the edge of my seat. It wasn't a perfect movie though. There were some plot points that really dropped like a pancake for me. Like Gwen's relationship with her dad and Miles' relationship with his parents. Like, come on, what's gonna happen with these plot points? I'm on the edge of my seat. I understand this is a two-parter, so hopefully by next year we could get the conclusion to these plot threads. But right now, it leads me to want for more, and I can't wait for the next part to come out. Tone of the cliffhanger was way too high. Overall, I can't wait for the next movie. So I will give this movie, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a 4.0 out of 5. It was a good movie, but I can't give it a full 5 stars because I need to know how the story ends. And it was unfair to me to give this movie a perfect score if there's still another part that didn't come out yet. I would say if you're hesitant to watch this movie, go see it. It's fun for family, friends, and comic book lovers. And there you have it. Thank you for watching our review of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Here at What's the Draw, we always keep our people updated with news, content, and new videos. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Can't wait to see you guys again soon.